What's going on, YouTube? This is Jimmy Fanis, and today I want to give you guys my reaction and review of the Nintendo Direct 2015 Super Smash Bros. Edition. Now, Smash has been an amazing game, and unfortunately, today they announced with Smash, that's it. The new stuff they announced today, they're not making anything else. They're moving on to bigger and better things. I'll come back to that point in a minute, but I want to get into the actual news because there was quite a bit, actually. They announced a new character would be coming from the new Fire Emblem Fates game, and the character's named Corrin. Now, Corrin is the main character of Fates. I know nothing about Fates other than I love Fire Emblem, so I'm going to check it out when it comes out. Similar to Robin, who you guys probably know from the Fire Emblem we have here, Awakening, Corrin can be either a guy or a girl, so this is one of those gender bender characters, so you can get it in the guy variant or the girl variant. Now, I didn't know this, and if it's spoilers, my apologies, but Corrin is actually part dragon. And I guess that's discovered or talked about in the game. Hopefully that's not the big reveal at the end. But because he or she is in dragon form, they have, or part dragon, they have the ability to transform either entirely into a dragon or just certain parts. So they showed some different abilities where like he would punch and like his hand would turn into like a dragon claw, or like his head would become a dragon, or like wings when he jumped out. It looks really, really cool. And something I've noticed that they really pushed the envelope on, starting with Ryu, was characters that had very different mechanics than the traditional other characters. And nothing wrong with the original cast, but the new characters all seem to have a lot more depth to them in terms of how they're played. And if you guys recall the Smash video I did the last time when Ryu was announced with my wife, we talked about how we thought Ryu was going to be OP because he had so many different ways to hurt an enemy, and I feel as if Corrin may fall into that category as well. So we'll see when it comes out. I don't know the competitive scene at all, so I could be talking, maybe Ryu isn't even used, maybe people don't use him as much as I think they do, but I feel Corrin, with all of his different abilities, is really going to stand out as a very technically powerful character. One of the abilities that he had is he's got this lance where he can run and like stick it in the ground, and it just, the way that that mechanic works in a Smash game compared to what all the other characters cannot do, it just seems like it's almost an unfair advantage. But we'll find out. February 2016, date TBD officially. They just said February. $7 for Corrin and for the Wii character and the Wii U character. And I didn't write it down, but I don't think that one had an extra level. I think that was just a character only. Of course, the big reveal, not so much new, but was that Cloud Strife is joining the fight. The awesome badass from Final Fantasy VII. He's got some really interesting things. I didn't write a whole bunch down because I was just drooling. He's got the limit break, which he holds down in B, and he charges up, and that basically modifies any other move that he has to make it either faster or more powerful. When his limit break is full, he does this move called Finishing Touch, if he wants to, and he swirls like a tornado, and it only does 1% damage. However, it sends enemies at a really, really high rate up vertically, and there's a really good chance it could be a knockout. So if an enemy's low on health, it's like a one-shot just end round. It looks really, really cool. His limit break can be charged by normal means, just by fighting, and then you get to use any of those special moves, and then the meter resets, and you have to start over. Very similar to what Little Mac has with the KO meter. His modeling looks insane, and he comes with both the original Final Fantasy VII garb and the Advent Children kind of cloak, and the cloak can either be sleeved or sleeveless, so it's kind of like 3-in-1. That blew me away, and I already knew Cloud was coming, so I already saw kind of what his movesets were prior with the Omni-Lash Ultimate, all of his famous moves from the game. But what blew me away was the Midgar level design. So, as you guys know, Final Fantasy is huge on Materia. Materia drives the world. It's the whole reason Shinra's in business. It's the essence of espers and magic, and in the palm of your hand. Well, Materia flows freely in Midgar, and if you can pick it up, you can use it to your advantage. Now, unlike Pokeballs or other things that you throw down Materia and an enemy will come and like attack other enemies, the Materia in Midgar actually affects the map. So here's a list of all the amazing modifiers you can get. You could get Ifrit, which is of course the fire god. What he does is these huge bolts of flame come out of the ground, and the level will actually rock. If you caught in the fire, obviously it'll hurt you, but if you're off on the edge, you could like teeter off. So that's really, really cool. And that's something different that you haven't seen in games with the levels actually transforming in front of your eyes. Rama, the god of lightning and electricity, shoots down like beams of lightning and actually flies through the map and electrifies certain platforms. So if you hit an enemy in the platform, like they go flying away. Odin, who is arguably, if Odin and Bahamut to me are like the top two. So if Odin isn't the best, maybe Bahamut is, but this game's got them both. Odin, the Norse god, he comes in on his horse like a badass. What he will do is he will actually cut the stage in half. He will take his sword and whoosh. If you're caught in the sword, obviously you're going to get smoked. But the stage will actually split in half and remain in half, from what I could tell, through the rest of the match, which is nuts. So I think that is probably the coolest thing I heard on this whole conference. Then you have Leviathan, the lightning, the water god, and what Leviathan does is he will flood the stage. So this rapids will come through and the stage starts bubbling, very similar to some of the Donkey Kong stages. On this mode, if you fall in the water, game over, because Leviathan's current is just so powerful. So it's pretty much instant kill. If you knock some dude in the water, they're going down the river. And lastly, Bahamut Zero. And he will hover over the air and rain down AoE fire on the whole map. I couldn't tell if you were under, because Twitch was kind of bugging out a little bit on me. I couldn't tell if you were under like some of the platforms, if the fire just like saved you and you were safe in a certain area. I know it obviously doesn't cover the entire map because it wouldn't be fair to anybody. It's just like a free hit. But that is awesome. And if you want everything, the stage, the cloud character, you want it on the Wii U and the 3DS, $7 right now. So as soon as I get done hitting save on this video and upload, I'm hauling my fat ass upstairs and I am going to get this guy. I am so excited. They also added a slew of new Mii Fighter collectibles. They have the Chocobo hat, a Geno outfit, and Geno, if you guys remember, was from Super Mario RPG. Then they started coming fast and furious. I don't know where a lot of these characters come from. I was looking at my wife and I'm like, boy, they're really digging deep into the bottom of the barrel. Bionic Armor, Takamuru, Ashley, Gil, and the only two I did recognize is Sonic, or I'm sorry, not Sonic, from Sonic, is Tails and Knuckles. So it's not actually the characters, keep in mind, all those names I just mentioned you. So you're not going to be Knuckles, you're going to be a me guy, you're going to see your face with like a Knuckles hat. So I can't tell if that's cool or not. I wish it was just like straight up Knuckles, but I mean, I think it's going to be a fun like illusion. I'll go ahead and pick them up. They did not give a price or a release date. Typically, the costumes have been around $1 a pop if you get them for both consoles, and then like in the 75-50 cent range if you pick them up on either or. They didn't say when they were announced either. I think they're probably today. Then a shocking reveal. I did not see this coming. They added one new character. When you think about it, it makes sense. It's, of course, Bayonetta, who is exclusive now on the Wii U as a member of Platinum Games Development. So she's actually very, very technical as well. So if you're familiar with Bayonetta, or if you're not, it's okay. I will tell you this makes me want to play the game now. She's got two guns, which had names. I did not write them down. They sounded really cool. They were two different names, like the Scarborough Fair and the Red Devil or Blue Devil or something. Two guns in her hand, and then on her high heels, she's got two more guns. So 4 guns. So she could shoot all around the place constantly, like a constant barrage of firepower. She has an ability where, because she's like a witch she's a witch that hunts demons. She can manipulate time. So one of her counter abilities is she will actually, the person that she's fighting, she'll do this counter, and they'll slow way down. And then, of course, she get in a ton of hits. Now, there are some limitations with the counter. If you miss the counter, she'll do a different ability where she just absorbs some of the damage that you give to her, but no counter is given. And if you spam the counter, they weren't really clear on how that mechanic worked out. If you spam the counter, the timer will go down significantly. She has a lot of different kind of combo moves that, like, if you jump in the air and kick as opposed to kicking on the ground, 2 different moves will happen. Some of her kicks could be directed up, mid, down. She had the ability to do a lot of air combos, a lot of juggling. By far the most juggling I've seen on any character. The drawback is once you're done juggling at the highest point, you just have to kind of come back down because you can't attack anymore. So you obviously leave yourself open for a pretty heavy counterattack. But I would think in a one-on-one situation, you could probably wreck people if you knew what you were doing. Her finale is called the Infernal Climax because there's a lot of innuendos in that game. She starts hitting people and a meter fills up. When the meter is full, anybody that's over 100% damage that was hit during her filling up the meter is instant killed, which is really, really cool. So she comes with a new stage, the Umbra Clock Tower, which is I guess it's a significant point in the game. But there's a lot of like Easter eggy kind of things. You know, Nintendo does that polish. There's like different NPCs in the background and other characters you can see kind of in the peripheral. And that will come out at some point, February 16. I assume around, if not identical to the time Corrin comes out. And that will also be $7 for everything, for the Wii U, 3DS, character stage, all that good stuff. I didn't hear an a la carte pricing, by the way, on either character or stage. In the past, they seem to have done that. Now it's just you're getting it. Then they wrapped it up with some Amiibo support. We're going to be getting March 18th, 2016. We're going to be getting Ryu coming out, which is awesome, and a Rob 64 Nintendo Championship Edition. So it's this like mauve, like maroonish color. And one other character, I didn't catch the guy's name, so my apologies on that. All the new Amiibos are TBD. So, but they are coming. So you're going to get a Cloud Amiibo, you're going to get a Bayonetta Amiibo, and you're going to get a Corrin Amiibo. And then they bring us to the ultimate finale, the statistics. And I want to read these to you, and then I want to reflect a little bit on what I said at the beginning of the video regarding the end of an era, so to speak. Since this game has launched, there are 58 fighters, 84 stages, 99 pieces of armor that you can put on your Mii, 97 hats you can put on your Mii, 743 Wii U trophies, and 507 musical tracks. Now, if you forget all the peripheral, 58 fighters, 84 stages. 84 stages. Now, there are some stages that are unique just to the Wii version, just to the 3DS version. But if you're like me, you got them both. So you get to experience all that. And even if one or the other, you're still upwards of 40 on either console. Wow. I'm a little heartbroken that it's over. This is one of those games that the DLC I just keep paying. I feel I haven't done the math. I have to be over $70 on DLC. I have to be. I'm thinking probably closer to 100. I think I've bought pretty much every single thing that I could possibly get my hands on when this game came out. And there has just been so many new characters, so much new gear, packs, collector editions, stages. It's incredible. And this really is a culmination of Nintendo the game. I mean, you think of all the different franchises that Nintendo's touched on. You have a Pac-Man representation. You have Kid Icarus. You have like classic Mario. You have Bayonetta. I mean, wow, what a depth and breadth of all things Nintendo culminating in this game. And by the way, it looks gorgeous on both the 3DS and the Wii U consoles. It is an absolute blast to play, and I do not play it enough, and I do not give it the respect it deserves enough. But I'm sad that the DLC is over. I don't know why it has to stop. There's still a litany of characters out there in the world that we would love to see injected in this game. And there's a place for them, and there's stages for them. And I understand that Nintendo wants to move on. Maybe the DLC isn't a great investment, but my hat's off to the crew. Because one of the things they said before the Twitch stream was over, a lot of times DLC is developed during the game's development, kind of hand in hand, and then it's launched almost immediately after launch as supplemental, consumables. And they said in this game, they made a conscious effort not to even start DLC until the core game was done. And I think the game is better for that. And I think you get more DLC that is meaningful, that reflects the current mood and the current wants and desires of the game, such as Ryu and Bayonetta being a little more technical characters as opposed to Mario and Donkey Kong. And the core crew is a little easier. More level manipulation like you'll see in the Midgar stages. More soundtracks, trophies, Amiibo support. All that stuff is a direct result of what the game was when it first came out. Very similar to how Destiny's first two expansions weren't that great. And it wasn't until they really got to see what the year one Destiny experience was before they released the Taken King. It's kind of in that vein. So, yeah, man, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to get all these other characters and complete it out. What an amazing game. If you do not have it, if you do not have the DLC, quit watching this video. Go check it out. This is a console seller game. Again, with all the amazing stuff they've come out with, it blows my mind. I cannot wait to see what Nintendo does next with this franchise. I know it's many years off, but with all the stuff they gave us, we're going to have plenty of time to play through it. So I'm curious to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the final Smash Brothers Direct. I love that Nintendo talks to me, the fan. I'm curious to see what happens next. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.